Hey y'all, welcome back to Quana's Corner. If you're new here, make sure that you subscribe, stick around. It's a bunch of random content I put up. Being a mom, chit-chat with y'all, catching up with life. I need to get into this for quite some time now. So I had fibroid surgery actually maybe about 7 weeks ago now. Nope, I'm about to come up on 8 weeks because I'm gonna be going back to work. So yeah, I had the surgery. I'm gonna insert a picture. And if you got a sensitive stomach or whatever, I just need you to, maybe close your eyes for that part. I'll give you a heads up. But so I had the surgery done on March 29th. So that was a Tuesday. That Friday before the surgery, they had me come in for pre-op, where they did blood work. I had a COVID test done. They also, I'm inserting a little video where they'll be walking in. Also had an EKG done. I get the results to my phone, and when I saw the results, I was a little bit worried because I'm just like, my blood work doesn't look as good as I thought, but my doctor felt otherwise, and I trusted my doctor. You can watch actually part 1. Well, to tell you some things about, why I had that trust in my doctor. Anyway, so she said, okay, everything's good to go. I'll see you, no eating after midnight. I'm like, okay. But I was like, the woman called me the day before the surgery. They were in charge of like the surgery department, and she's like, don't eat after midnight, da, da, da. So I'm like, okay, could I have like a little something, because I breastfeed. So I love the fact that she was like, okay, I'll tell you what. She's like, eat a big meal at 11:30. Or she said, actually, at 11 o'clock, have a big enough meal so that by the morning, even though you breastfeed, you won't be hungry. I took her advice, got up just as normal. I breastfed him, and I made sure to keep breastfeeding him until it was time for us to drop him off with my parents. So we dropped him off with my parents. There's some video of us heading towards the hospital. We dropped him off with my parents. I sent a bunch of milk. I sent food, because Bear the Baby would be staying with me until, I was in recovery, and then, he would go pick him up. So once I got there, the security guard was like, oh no, only you could go up. And I was like, no, they told me that I could bring one person with me. He was like, no, only you can go up. Now I'm a little bit like, for whatever reason, when he's there with me, you have your person that, excuse the New York City background noise. When you have someone there for support, it kind of eases that anxiety that you have. And that's what he does for me. And if you watch the video from when I was delivering, you'll see how that changed. So this time I was hoping for another change to come, but when I got upstairs, I was telling like the pre-surgery check-in guy, like, hey, they told me he couldn't come up, but they told me over the phone that I could have somebody there. And he was like, whatever the security guard downstairs said, that's what goes. And I was like, oh, okay, all right. So he took my name, and he was like, oh, actually, you should be up soon. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm getting a little nervous. I haven't had anything to eat, no coffee, no nothing, but I'm a little nervous. I'm not as nervous as the C-section, because for this is more like I'm gonna go to sleep, wake up, and everything's gonna be done. So I sat down, and when I sat down, they called my name to sign off on my paperwork, and I signed off for everything, make sure I had my person to contact in case anything happened. I'm not a big fan of blood, so I had to sign off to make sure that, the person I designated would be, streamlined with that as well. And I just went and sat down, and I kind of browsed my phone. Now, mind you, I have my things with me, like I have my breast pump in my backpack. I have slippers. I have some snacks. I had the breast milk storage bags. I also had my scarf, my lip gloss, my phone, my charger, my watch. Like, I had all these things in my bag, and I'm like, I'm so scared. I don't want to leave it just, you know, I want my boyfriend to be able to take my things. As I'm sitting there, I'm watching the TV, I feel like a mush, and I turn around and I'm like, it's my boyfriend. He said someone called him and told him to come up. And I was like, oh, okay, good. So I'm more happy now because he's there. And I feel a lot more relaxed. Literally, he got there, we were talking maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15 at max. They called my name, they were ready for me. And then it's like, you know, he can't come back. He stays here, you go back. And I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, do I take my bag with me? He's like, yeah, bring your bag with you back. Let's go, okay. Hold on, baby's up. Hold on. So yes, he's awake. You say hi? You say hi? Say hi? I was trying to get through this before he woke up from his nap, but so now we have company. Anyway, the guy that was at the thing, he said, I have daughters, and I saw the look on your face. He's like, and I know that look. He said, so I know what it meant to have someone there. And I was like, thank you so much. He's like, you're welcome. He's like, take your things to the back, but you know they'll take care of everything. So I go to the back. They tell me to sit behind a curtain, and there's different people waiting to have their surgeries done. So I go and I sit behind a curtain. The nurse comes in, she makes sure my name is my name. They have like wristbands on that identify you with your name and your date of birth and such, and they ask you what you're there for, you know, just to kind of check the list of what surgery you're gonna have and such. While there, then she starts to tell me, okay, she had a robe and stuff, like the gown, nightgown. Go to the front, I'll insert a picture of what I would wear. So she told me put that on, put one on to the back, one on to the front, and then just wait, she will be back. I said, okay. So she was asking me my height and weight. I really wasn't too sure about my weight because of, yes, sweetheart. It kind of fluctuated with me having the baby and being postpartum. Mind you, I'm 6 months postpartum, so the weight is still there. I don't know how much I weigh. So what she made me do is she made me go stand on the scale, and she took my weight, whatever it was, because your weight, they need your exact weight for what is it? Oh gosh, for the anesthesia. That's what it is. They need your weight for that. So she did that. She brought me back in. She said my doctor will be coming out, so my doctor came. Of course, I'm happy to see her. She's such a pleasure. She's like, hey, how you doing? How you feeling? This suck-up routine. You know, I've done plenty of these. She's like, you feeling okay? Now, I was not only having my fibroids removed, I was also getting my tubes removed, because I'm like, I'm done having kids. I don't want any more surprises. Please, I'm done. So once you sign off on a paper, you do it at your doctor's office. This is here in New York. I don't know about everywhere. Here in New York, you sign off on the paper, and then you have to wait between when you get the surgery done and when you sign 30 days. I guess just in case you change your mind. So she said, okay, it's been long enough. You got to go ahead and you sign the second line. That's the second line, like the date of. So I signed that line, and she said, repeat to me, you know, what you're going to have done today. And she's like, okay, we're all good. We should have a room opening up shortly. She brought in what do they call them? They're like medical student. They bring in a med student. He was really like cool and fun. Like he kind of really calmed me down more, because I was still starting to feel a little anxious or whatever. So it was nice. He kept talking to me about stuff that just had nothing to do with anything. So they took my bag. They actually put in a locker, and they wrote my number, the locker numbers. They wrote it on. I had a backpack and I think a purse. I had 2 things with me. I don't remember what they were, but they put them in 2 oh, my coat and stuff. That's what it was, but my coat and stuff. So they put my coat and stuff into one locker, which was in like the hospital, you know, personal items, plastic bags. Put it into there, and then the other items they put into another locker, but they wrote my thing on the locker numbers on my wristband, so that when I woke up, they would stick the bags either on the gurney or underneath to wheel me out into recovery. So I was like, okay, cool. So he was like, the medicine was like, come on, you could walk with me. We're gonna go ahead into the next room. So the next room was like right before you go into the surgery room. So it was like, you're sitting like, you know, if you go into like the ER, you see those spaces, like you're sitting, it kind of looked like that. And we were sitting down, and he was talking to me, and I was like, oh, this is kind of like Grey's Anatomy. And we were talking, and Bearded Bay still needed some paperwork signed for him taking care of me after. So my doctor was like, I'll go get it from him. Don't worry about it. We'll take care of that after. She's like, how you feeling? I was like, okay, I'm all right. Well, we walked to the back. As we're walking, no lie, it looks just like, if you watch Grey's Anatomy, like when they walk up to the surgery room, first of all, so the ORs are not big, okay? Operations are not big. They're not big at all, as big as they seem on Grey's Anatomy, okay? Let's start there. We walk to the back, and as we're walking, you know, we get there. So one of the anesthesiologists, or like one of the helpers, I remember her from when I gave birth, because I did everything at the same hospital. I remembered her, and she was like, hey, how you doing? I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna insert your IV. I have a bigger IV I'm gonna put in, but I'm gonna wait until you're asleep to put that one in. And I was like, okay. She said, your veins open up once the anesthesia flows through. And I was like, really? Okay, didn't know that. But she put one in my hand. And then she's like, okay, we're gonna let you get nice and comfortable. And she put, now mind you, it was like a T, so your arms are laid out. And she's like, come on, we're gonna put you up here. So she got me up, and she's like, okay, scoot up. Yes, sweetheart. Scoot up a little bit more. And I laid down, and I remember the med student asking me, where are you gonna be thinking about while you're yes, baby, can you hold that for mama? Thank you. Just so mama can finish this, okay? Where you gonna think about while where you gonna be in your mind when you while you're asleep? And I was like, I'm gonna be in Madagascar. Y'all, that was the last thing I remember. I don't know if something flowed through my veins or covered my face. All I know is that like it was like flashes. Like, I could feel myself in pain, but I was just out. Like, this was me. And that's what I thought my eyes were doing. I saw Bearded Bay. I saw my doctor. They were talking. I knocked back out. I came back to a little bit later. I don't know how much time is going in between. I just know I opened my eyes back. And I remember Bearded Bay telling me, he kissed me and said, baby, I'm going to get home. And I think I said, okay, or I nodded my head. I went back out. I woke back up. The nurse was talking to me. She was telling me they were trying to get me a room, but they were having a problem trying to find me a room or something. I went back out. And then I came back, and I kind of stayed up for like a few minutes, and she asked me how was I feeling. They did the vitals, and I knocked back out. I woke back up again. My pressure was low when they took my vitals. My pressure was low. I knocked back out. And when I came back to, this time I stayed up for just a little while longer. I stayed up long enough for her to have a conversation. We talked, and it was more so, how are you feeling? I was like, I feel okay. She was like, how are you feeling? I was like, I'm feeling okay. I was not that bad. I was like, my throat really, really hurts. Like, it hurts really bad. Like, my throat was really sore. She's like, it's because they had a tube in your throat to help you breathe while you were asleep. And I was like, it hurts so bad. Like, I could barely speak. My throat felt so sore. But she's like, you can't have anything to drink now. And I was like, I was like, can you pass, like, I'm talking really hush, but I'm trying to, like, I was like, can you pass my bag? I just threw my phone in my chapstick. My lips felt so dry. Now I don't have my glasses on, so I want my glasses too. She passes me my bag and I'm trying to maneuver and she's like, you want me to help you? I was like, so I was directing her in my bag to what was where, and she actually passed me my glasses. She passed my phone, and I said, leave the bag here. I can get my chapstick. You can leave it here. She got my chapstick. By the time I put my glasses on, looked at the time, y'all, I promise y'all it was 9 o'clock at night. I went into surgery at 1:30 in the afternoon, and I was like, what in the world? What? Anyway, they get me up to my room. I need to pump. My breasts feel like rocks. I'm like, I need to pump. My breast hurts. So the woman in there was like, you want me to bring your breast pump? I said, no, I have my own. She's like, okay. She's like, you need help getting everything else? I said, no. I said, I just need you to bring me like put ice in a basin so I could keep the milk cold. She's like, okay, I'll bring it. She was excellent. She not only put ice in there, but then she put a little bit of water so that I could stick it in. It was just a tiny bit of water. So as the ice melted overnight, it would stay cold. Y'all, I put the pump on. I fell asleep. They came in to bring me some type of meds. They came in to bring me, I don't remember what it was, but she was saying it's okay for a breastfeeding mom to have. And I was like, you sure? She's like, yeah, your doctor already, gave everybody the rundown of the list. And they put me on a maternity floor. So they put me on the opposite side of where the babies and moms were. They put me on the opposite side, which I thought was super helpful, especially for me wanting to store my breast milk. I was like, good. Now, mind you, the breast milk is in the room with me, never left the room, it's in the room with me. But that night, it was a lot of in and out of sleep. I think I picked up my phone to tell everybody. I started answering text messages like, I'm okay, I'm all right, I just need to rest, I feel like I'm in a lot of pain. And that was it. I remember I finally just took the breast pump off and was like, forget it, I'll just do this in the morning. I can't do it right now. I'm falling asleep. I'm so tired, I couldn't stay up. The next morning, as I'm pumping, my doctor comes in. She showed me pictures, y'all. I know about 4 fibroids were there. Here's a picture. Tell me how many you see there. How many do you see? Yeah, there were 11 that she pulled out. 11. So I'll insert a picture of what my stomach looked like before and what it looked like after. Not getting up to go to the bathroom. She said someone would come in, remove the catheter, and they would set me up to, start to walk around. Now, I kind of know the procedure because this is my second C-section from with him. I had one with the twins. I had one with him. So I pretty much know the procedure from having major abdominal surgery. Gotta take it easy, but you do need to move around. The more moving you do, the better you feel, the more you rest and take your pain meds. Those are the things that you need to do. So I was pretty familiar. The woman who came in and helped me up, she was really nice Trini lady. I miss my baby so much. I miss him so much. Bear the Bay came and he stayed with me for a good portion of the day. When he came, I walked around. After the nurse, I also have brung my own pads. I don't like the hospital pads. I brung also the what is it called? Freedom Mom. I brought those. I'll insert a picture of I got those because I love those panties. They feel awesome. Everything stays put where it needs to be. I also brought my own pad. Helped me to walk around, which was super helpful. I think I did 2 laps. And then when he left, I did a lap by myself, which actually helped. They had me on a liquid diet, so I wasn't getting much food. But while he was there, they actually brought me real food. And I was like, okay, good. He's like, you sure you don't want food? And I was like, no. He did bring me some Jamaican chicken soup, which I ended up having later on, which helped. That helped. That definitely helped. Later on that night, I was able to have regular food since they brought me regular food. And I asked my girlfriend, she's like, no, she asked me if I needed anything. And I was like, yeah, I want food. I want a cheeseburger. I ate that cheeseburger, y'all. And like, I felt good in that moment. But the next day when I woke up, I didn't feel so good. Yeah, I didn't feel good, baby. No, mama did not feel good at all. Yes, sweetheart. Yes. I didn't feel good at all. So I wouldn't advise. Don't do it. Don't do, like, just take the diet you're supposed to have. That's the best thing I can tell you. Take the diet you're supposed to have. I did not have staples. No staples. She just did the same thing she had before. Here's what it looked like. She uses that what did they call it? I forgot what they call this. I forgot what they call it. It was a special name they call it. But she used it, and before you leave out the hospital, they take it off. Before you leave out. Yeah, they take it off. Because my iron levels had went down so much, they gave me 2 iron infusions while I was in the hospital. And then woman who's the head of the GYN department, she wanted me to have a blood transfusion. She was like, if your levels don't go up, we're gonna have to get. And I'm just like, okay, fine, whatever. That's not what I wanted. And mind you, this is not my doctor telling me, it's her telling me. And I'm just like, go away, lady, go away. Like, I don't want to talk to you. The only way I could leave the hospital if I pass gas, or I had to use the bathroom. I had to pee. I had to pass gas, and I think they wanted me to move my bowels. But I pee with no problem, because even when I had the catheter in, like, I drink a lot of water because breast milk, so I drink a lot of water anyway. So when she was coming to change my catheter, she's like, you have no problem, like, going to the bathroom. Your urine is great, plenty. I went to the bathroom on my own, especially when the nurse had walked into the toilet. Like, I gotta pee. That worked out well. After that, from all the walking, me consistently walking, I did have to pass gas. And the day I passed gas, like, it was that morning, they told me I could go home. My doctor came in. She came to see me. There was another doctor. He was a guy. He was a little bit strange, though. And he had said they were gonna come back and remove my dressing, and I was like, okay, gosh. But actually, my doctor ended up doing it, and she was very gentle. I loved it. I was like, good, thank you, girl, thank you. And she said she gave me a date to come back to the doctor's office so she could do a wound check. That was fine. That worked out. I was like, okay, awesome. Gave me paperwork. When Bearded Bay had came to see me, so there was like this, I don't know how to describe it, but when Bearded Bay came to see me, they had this like patch that was holding like the catheter in place. Now, the only thing about this thing is you can't just rip it off. You have to use alcohol to get it off. When I had the C-section with baby Miles, the doctor used a really cool method. She used hand sanitizer because there's alcohol in it. So she used that and was putting it on like yeah, I'm talking. She put it on gauze and was rubbing it on it, and then she was like lifting it up gently and then rub more, and then so this time I had Bearded Bay do it, and it worked out. It worked out really well. The weird doctor came back to try to take the dressing. I was like, my doctor already did it. He was like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah, already done. He's like, okay. He said, well, you can get dressed and you can go ahead home because your doctor's gonna go ahead and release you. I was like, thanks. They were just waiting for my paperwork to come, and I had told Bearded Bay, come get me. Come on. So he was downstairs waiting for me, and Mouse was in the car. Mouse was crying, and I couldn't get in the back. To feed him yet because Bearded Bay drives a coupe, so I couldn't get in the back to because it was just too much. The ride home wasn't as bad as a C-section, but it was still uncomfortable, and I forgot to request for him to bring a pillow. I forgot. By the time we got home, I was starving. I was extremely hungry, but the only thing I wanted to do was nurse my baby because I miss nursing him. I nursed him. We sat together. It was nice. It was nice. The pain after, yeah, it's a C-section. To me, that pain after was like a 7-8. My sister says I have a really high tolerance for pain, and I'm thinking I do. It's like a 7-8. The first few days I came home, I want to say the pain level was about a 6-7. It was about a 6-7. There were times where I would feel okay, and then the pain would shoot up to like a 9, and I would be like, I need a painkiller. Oh my gosh. Now my sister, she's a pharmacy tech. Well, she used to be a pharmacy tech. They sent me home with all these medicine and gas relief and relaxation for muscles. My sister was like, you don't need any of that. She's like, do you still have your pain meds from your C-section? I was like, yeah. She's like, you can take that if you need it. You don't need any of that other stuff. I was like, yeah. So I didn't take any of it. I didn't take any of it. I kept taking my prenatal pills. I kept taking the calcium that my doctor had prescribed me. I started taking my iron all over again because my iron was still pretty low. So I needed to rest a lot. As far as bleeding, I didn't have much bleeding. I didn't have much bleeding. I will tell you this because I feel like no one says this. Your first period after fibroid, oh my word. Oh my, I was like, did someone playing a cruel game? Is this a joke? Is someone playing a joke on me? Before, when I had the fibroids, my period used to be like super light. I know. Usually you hear about girls having really heavy. Mine were super light. When I tell you I feel like the floodgates had opened up, I was just like, oh, is something wrong? And I was having bad cramps. I haven't had cramps since before I had the twins. Mind you, the twins are 13, okay? I hadn't had cramps. I was like, oh my word, what is happening to my stomach? What's happening? Oh, this is horrible. It's horrible. It's bad, okay? Just expect it to be bad. Don't freak out, you know, except if you're going through pads really, really fast. I will say this. I only use regular pads. I don't like blood to touch me. So, like, anytime they got, like, even medium, not even full, but, like, a little, and I was just like, take it off. Like, I just, no, I don't want anything to touch me. But I will say it was a little bit heavy. But now this is I just had my cycle. So this is like my second. It's like my second one. And I realized like the first day it's like regular. It starts off like goes to towards the end of the day it'll be like a regular period. And days 2 and 3 will be my heavy days, 2 and 3. And then the 4th day, it's not heavy, but it starts to taper, but it's not light either. And then by day 4, it's super, super light. Like, just nothing. Yeah. But I still would need to wear like a panty liner. I feel really good. My stomach has gone down so much. I'll actually insert another video. Matter of fact, I'll do like a short one. I'll do a short one to show you guys what I look like. I started wearing a faja to help me get rid of a lot of that extra fluid. When I have my period, I do not wear my faja. I'll shoot a video here with the faja. I'll share that on here as well. I do not wear the faja when I have my period because that's just too much to go through. So now that my cycle is finished, I will go back to putting on my faja to get rid of all of that extraness. But any questions you have about fibroid surgery, the after, before prep, what to pack in your bag, put it down below, and I'll definitely pop up here. I'll take all the questions and I'll go ahead and answer all the questions together. But put them down below. That was my story. I feel so much better. And the fact that I know I can't have no kids. Hot mom summer, hot girl summer, here I come. Okay. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe. Quanta's Corner. Stick around. And talk to you next time.